All right, Jason Rona back here in the JConcepts garage. We're doing another vlog episode here. We're with Fred Reap. And Fred, we've been doing a little bit of monster truck type activity here in the last couple months. You made quite a few trips out already this year, attending some different events. And recently, you made the trip over to Missouri and attended the Trigger King event. Talk to us a little bit about, we had a purpose going over there. We wanted to show off some new items. And what was it like heading over there and kind of being with the crowd there at the Trigger King?
Yeah, it was a nice trip. The Trigger Kings, I normally operate out of the Bigfoot shop, which is based in Pacific, Missouri now. Mm-hmm. They've moved locations from their Hazelwood shop. And at this time, they had a threat of rain, so they actually relocated the event indoors to Lonnie Childress's shop at Gateway Classic Mustang. They're in Sullivan, Missouri.
Okay.
And that provided a real neat thing. Lonnie opened up his shop, former Bigfoot driver from the early 90s. And he's moved around some of his custom Mustangs that he's been working on out there, him and his guys, and made a real nice indoor track. Mm-hmm. And we debuted some nice products here. We have some tires and bodies, and everything, as you can see here, is looking good.
Tell me about the Trigger King. It's not just like a one-off event. This is more like a series, correct?
Yeah, it's basically like a club, and they run their series. And this is like their spring type session, going through the summer. Yeah. And I think they have a couple more to wrap up the season. But it's a neat, great group of guys.
You spent a little time prepping for that event. We had a couple new releases we brought out there. Obviously it really wasn't our style not to come with something, come loaded to one of these events without something new or something fun. Talk to us a little bit about kind of your prep leading into that event. We did some bodies and we had different trucks that were finishing, getting ready. And talk to us a little bit about, kind of making that trip and prepping with the products that you were showing out there.
Yeah, a lot of preparation for this one as well. Just like the other events that we go to, where we always try and have something new and fresh out on display when we do these events and go there. A lot of prep on these trucks. We have our new 93 Super Cab body. This one done in the Extreme Overkill, the classic 90s look. This was a real fun project, real neat to see this body come to life. I know a lot of guys like the Super Cab look. Actually helps out when these guys are running the longer wheelbase trucks, just like your truck here has a bit longer wheelbase than the stock Clodbuster, and this one here is a great fit. Some guys, they tried some doing the regular cab, but extending the bed. It just doesn't look right to scale. I mean, if it was a scale truck, it'd be like a 12-foot long bed on your pickup truck.
Right.
And it just doesn't look right. So here we went the extra mile, and since we're on the roll with the 93 regular cab body, went here and did the Super Cab.
Yeah, so with basically kind of to recap a little bit, we had two different 93 bodies. We have our standard cab body, which is essentially, we showed that at the event as well. We had our JConcepts Wildfoot themed truck, which was popular in the 90s. Right. And that was the standard cab, which we put on the standard wheelbase Clodbuster. But then what we did is we wanted to model, the Super Cab version off of a truck that was out there in the 90s, which was this Extreme Overkill.
Right, very popular truck back then.
Yeah, and it really fits on this chassis, the longer wheelbase style, really well. And it still looks like a scale body in terms of, the right bed length, the right racer back, just the proportions seem right. So that was the kind of the recap of the 93 Ford bodies. Of course, they're licensed, to JConcepts from Ford, so we're really happy about those. Something else that happened kind of at that same moment as Fred was prepping is talk to us about the Gravedigger here from Axial.
Yeah, the Axial SCX-10 monster truck had just come out. Just as I was leaving for the event, here comes a box. let's make this thing look good. We have our prototype tires and wheels, as people are well aware of now. So I had a set there, and let's make sure these things fit. And sure enough, with our adapter kits that are going to be coming with these wheels, you pick the right adapter, you bolt it in the wheel, bolt the wheel right up to the truck, and bam, it really looks great.
Something that kind of struck me as a little bit odd is, they did such a great job on this truck in general with the body, the chassis, and kind of making it look like that true Gravedigger, but the tires that come with it are really kind of small, right?
Yeah, to me, it looks like more of a 48-inch tall scale type looking tire.
Mm-hmm.
To hear where the size of the truck, Axial did their homework. It looks beautiful with the chassis and all that stuff, but it just needs that extra touch of our tires and wheel combination on the thing to make it look like a true monster.
Yeah, obviously the thing about a monster truck is it has big tires, right?
Big tires, yeah.
So it's like, adding the tires onto the truck itself really kind of gives it that beefy, big look, which I think is what I've been noticing a lot of people are going for is right away they're like, I'm going to throw the bigger, people call them clod-sized tires because that was the original, but the bigger tire. And I really like the way that the Gravedigger turned out. If you were detailing this, what would you probably do with the Gravedigger here? Would you want this thing, would you keep the body? Would you dye the chassis? Or
Yeah, the options are pretty much limitless. It just comes up to your creation here. They have the rear engine plant. You could put stacks in the front if you want, zoomies coming out of the front of it if you wanted. I'm sure we can take one of our bodies if you wanted to dye the chassis or paint the chassis. Looks like that option is real. And I think you can do quite a number of things with this truck. And going up to the Trigger King event, it also gave us the opportunity. We vigorously test a lot of our products before it even gets thought of being put in production. So it gave us a chance to actually take it and we had a gentleman out there, so let's bolt these on here and run it in competition. And a couple of guys were scared. They thought maybe the bigger tire was going to tear up the truck, but no, we put it on there, and just in the stock manner, it worked really well. No breakage as far as just having the tire on there, so that's real promising.
Another item we brought over there was we got the little guy here that we'll call it the Striker monster truck here. What was the process behind getting this one ready, and what type of truck are we looking for with this particular body?
Yeah, this one here, we had a couple guys. They were interested on doing more of a super cab style body. We have the 4-door version, but the popular monster trucks that are on TV and are out and about are more of a super cab. So we made one a super cab, and then this one here fits an HPI Wheelie King. The regular Traxxas Stampede, more of like, I would say, a 1/12 scale size monster truck.
Yeah.
And having the HBI Wheelie King being 4-wheel drive, it just it's really good fit.
Yeah, obviously when you look at the size of these trucks, just sitting here, they call them all monster trucks, but at the end of the day, they're all different sizes.
Right.
I think in reality, the Overkill and the Gravedigger here, the way we have them laid out, those are probably the more true looking RC monster trucks. And like you said, this one's more maybe like a 12 scale monster truck,
right,
or something we might have seen in the old days with a little smaller tire on it.
Yeah, kind of like your, to me, a lunchbox, something like that.
Yeah, the old Blackfoot
right.
Monster Beetles. Yeah. That was probably the size of them, 2.2 inch
Again,
wheels.
called monster trucks, but how big is your monster truck?
Yeah, yeah. The idea of a full blown monster truck is the big tires, and
right.
Kind of speaking of tires, that was the other thing we showed at the Trigger King, was we brought out 2 different JConcepts tires to show, and talk to us about your experience there in debuting those 2 tires.
Yeah, we kind of did a little teaser. We have here the JConcepts Renegade tires, and again, people were really digging it. We did a lot of work and making sure these things look realistic. So guys right off the bat were really psyched and are really excited to see these tires come out. And then we went up to the Trigger King event and then kind of snuck the Firestorms on them.
Yeah, there's just in this crowd, obviously being a monster truck RC monster truck fan, there's not a lot of options out there. And, we wanted to add a couple new options. Obviously, we went with the Renegades here. That was a little lower profile truck tire. Has that cut tread look, which was so popular in the 90s, and even today at times a lot of cut tread, but especially in that racing era of the 90s when they're looking to trim all the weight, that's kind of how the tires ended up looking.
Right, that's something how back in the day, the late 80s, early 90s, when they started doing that on the 1-1 trucks, the guys in the RC world, they wanted to do that. So, we'd be here and, you shave a pound of rubber, off of a stock monster truck tire back then, just, dremeling it out. You covered in rubber, taking it. So, again, hitting the easy button, we actually here went super detailed, putting the knife cut in there as far as the details, and then putting the knife edges in there. Again, lightening the tire, increasing your traction.
And, kind of going back to the Firestorm, we went with this one as the look here was a little more scale. We wanted the scale size and height and width, which makes the tire just a little bit bigger than the Renegades. But this has that flat bar look, like it's been trimmed in height, but not in angle. So we got the flat bar look with the Firestorms, and a little bit taller tire, making it kind of realistic.
Right, and scuffed sidewalls here up on the inner edges on the sidewalls. We kind of scuff them up like they do on the real 1-1 tire. The cut down lug, again, decreasing some of the weight of the tire, and then again, providing that true scale monster truck tire look. Very important.
Something I wanted to add is when these tires are very close to production. We talked about it in a little video earlier, but the October time frame is what we're looking at on releasing these to the public, and we're going to offer 2 compounds. One we're going to label as blue compound, which is typical in our off-road assortment of tires as an outdoor. We're recommending the blue compound would be asphalt conditions and dirt and gravel. Then we're going to have a gold compound, which is the little harder to feel tire when you're feeling in hand, but that's what we like on the polished concrete and carpet.
Right, and that's the first for JConcepts as well. I mean, being in the monster truck tire market, performance RC tire company, going the extra mile and actually creating a compound for a monster truck tire, which has just been unheard of over the years. But actually being able to dial these things in now with compounds is terrific.
Yeah, we spent some time together running these trucks actually in our warehouse. Because we're like, hey, a lot of racing as the Trigger King was on polished concrete,
right?
And we thought we needed to get this truck out on the polished concrete and do our compound testing. Then we rolled out some carpet.
Right.
We had some fun with that running on the carpet, and then we did the asphalt, and of course the dirt. What we're really familiar with racing on dirt. But the other conditions, it's almost odd in this monster truck racing because people give us a hard time on the 10 scale off-road side that, oh, you guys are racing on AstroTurf or carpet, and they give you a hard time for racing an RC car on carpet or AstroTurf, but with the monster trucks they race on everything.
Yeah, it's kind of a multi-purpose, multi-use tire. I mean, the lug itself, just by you go from a regular lug tire and then you start knife edging it. It's increasing your traction in dirt. This thing will start doing rooster tails in dirt. But the truck's very forgiving as far as you have such a wide surface area of the tire, you're going to have traction there immediately. It's just now with all mixing these surfaces up, going from a polished concrete to a regular asphalt, there's a lot of traction changes there from going from a cut lug tire to maybe going to the Firestorm, which may help you out.
So, that we talked about the tire. The wheel, we're calling the tribute wheels, which is kind of a name we came up with, which is kind of a tribute to the earlier days of monster truck racing,
right.
Late 80s, early 90s. Talk to us a little bit about the wheel combination and kind of what it comes with.
Yeah, the wheel combination, we have our Planetary Caps in there, which is really nice. They unbolt. We got 6 screws in there, and then your cap comes off, and then you have readily accessible the lug nut. The Planetary Caps will come in 2 different versions. One here we have on the Extreme Overkill was a solid cap, so it looks just like the regular 1-1 Planetary. A lot of guys in racing, and I foresee this coming in the future, especially when you're dialing in your tires now and having that option with JConcepts, is we actually include a cap that has a hole in it. So now you won't have to unscrew the Planetary cap all the time. You'll have quick access. You take the wheel on and off real quick, and then make a tire swap out if you want to on the track. Again, having access to the 1-1 parts. Again, calling it a tribute wheel, but there's monster trucks out there in the 1-1 world still using these wheels. Even though the Bigfoot team out there, you'll see this type of wheel on their trucks. So it's really neat to have this opportunity to make a wheel like this. Again, in the true monster truck 1-1 scaled down fashion, and we also have the hubs here. In order to maintain the scale look and the scale offsets of the real truck wheel, we had to go ahead and make adapters for the inside of the wheel so you can adjust your offsets. So now on these wheels, every wheel set that you would get will come with 3 different options. You'll have the stock clodbuster type offset, and then you'll have an 18 millimeter offset. And then, for your wider width trucks that need the wide wheelbase, we'll have the a Widener offset.
Yeah, which has kind of proved so far to be, just in our general putting these tires on all the different trucks we have, it's been really, really nice to have all these combinations, because you kind of mix and match with these type of trucks sometimes. Sometimes
Right.
you want them wide, sometimes you want them a little narrower. And that's easily done, with the adapters that are in these wheels. And so lots of times I hear people kind of complain about wheel options in this class, but what we went ahead and did is have that actual adapter bolt to the wheel,
Right.
so that it's all interchangeable.
Right. The look of the wheel will always look like a 1-1 wheel, which is really, really nice. And then having the option, a few screws here and there, and then you're changing your offset and performance of the truck.
So kind of going into, the package, we talked about the wheel, the looks. We spent some time, like you alluded to, that we, had access to these real 1-to-1 wheels and tires, but that is no joke. We were standing and measuring on the real tires and the real wheels to get accurate dimensions of
Right.
the width of these things, the height of these things, and we spent a great deal of time making sure that they have kind of the right look.
Yeah, it's very important. To the people that run these machines, they want them to look, just like the real deal, just the 1/10 scale or the 1/12 scale size. And access to the 1-1 parts was great to have on this project. And again, it was up to us, and it took many, many hours to design these things to make them work and have the options to get them to work.
So when these tires come out, we talked about the 2 compounds already, but the tires are also going to come with the foam inserts, which in our world of RC racing and off-road racing, it's kind of a throw-in that you get inserts. But with the monster truck tires, it's not super common to get inserts in a full package.
Right. Yes. A lot of the stock kits, they wouldn't have an insert in the tire, and again, to make the tire perform, depending on what kind of class you're running, you may not even need an insert in it. The carcass of the tire would be strong enough just to hold the truck. But here, we include the inserts. It's going to give you that added performance, whether you choose to go, to your vintage and you don't need it, but you have that option, the insert's there, and it's going to make it work.
Well, I guess the next question is you've made a couple trips this year. What's next on your traveling schedule here? As what's really common for me is to attend, a lot of the off-road 10 scale, 8 scale races out there. You've been hitting a lot of the RC monster truck races, but what's on your schedule here coming up?
Yeah, just in the next couple of weeks, we'll be heading up to New York. They have their World Finals up there in October, and then we're going to be on standby for a week, and then we're going to head out to Ohio for their World Finals.
Okay, so obviously we're going to be making a trip, Florida, New York to Ohio.
Ohio, yep. And then they have the Real Monster Truck Hall of Fame. That's going to be in November, and we'll be heading out there too.
So if you want to see JConcepts at the races, head out there to the World Final event in New York, and the one that's also in Ohio, and then that's going to be just in October, and then November at the Hall of Fame in Indiana. So we appreciate Fred being out there with us, getting these trucks all set up for us. I'm looking forward to getting my truck out there, doing a little bit of racing, mixing it up with the crew, and we appreciate you staying tuned here with JConcepts. Look for the new Renegades, Firestorms, and the assortment of monster truck goodies as this class picks up steam here in 2016, and I think we're sitting on a good 2017.
Yeah, it's looking really promising. Really excited about it.
So thanks for everything, and thanks for tuning in here with JConcepts.
Thanks.